Surely you've heard of a 5-step plan before. You've probably also heard of a 12-step plan to deal with alcoholism or other drug-related treatments. But have you ever heard of a 39-step plan? No? Well, neither have I, because that sounds absolutely dreadful. Who would want to take that many steps just to try and deal with just about anything? So don't take the 39-step plan, take this shortcut. But wait, how does that pertain to this game? You'll find out shortly. Actually, it'll take quite a while, but you'll find out. Whitaker brightened up. Hey, I know something about that.
It's a chance. Let's go over to the Admiralty.
Let's Google it. Ah, darn, the internet's down. We got into 2 of the waiting motor cars. Sir Walter went off to Scotland Yard to mobilize MacGillifrey. Oh, has that been doing that the whole time? The map is darkened because it's nighttime? I didn't notice that earlier. To the Admiralty. Quick, gentlemen, to the books! A resident clerk was unearthed, who presently fetched from the library the Admiralty tide tables. Well, never mind, he found it for us. Oh, tide tables, here we go. Right here on the shelf. Thank goodness for the Dewey Decimal System. I sat at the desk, and the others stood around. For somehow or other, I got charge of this expedition. Probably because I'm the one who figured it all out. But it was no good. Well, so much for that. So far as I could see, 1017 might cover 50 places. We had to find some way of narrowing the possibilities. There must be some way of reading this riddle. Oh, it said something about 39 steps. That might be a clue. The riddle! Now see, where... I'm gonna start here. Time is running out. I am not reading that over and over again. What did Scudder mean by steps? If it were dock steps, why mention the number? It must be some place with several staircases and one marked out from the others by having 39 steps. This is all guesswork. I am no kind of Sherlock Holmes, but I do have a feeling about all of this. See, I'm guessing it's supposed to go this way, but yeah. Why was high tide so important? It must be some little harbor or no harbor at all. There were no sets of staircases on any harbor that I had ever seen. The place must be a bit of open coast. He's a man in a hurry. He wants a speedy and a secret passage. They want to travel by a big boat from a regular harbor. There is no regular steamer sailing at that hour. I put myself in the enemy's shoes. I wouldn't leave from the Channel or the West Coast. Scotland is too far. I should try for Ostend or Antwerp or Rotterdam. I should sail from somewhere on the East Coast between Cromer and Dover. Yeah, I have no reference for where any of those places are. I set out all my conclusions on a bit of Admiralty paper. What is Admiralty paper? You just can't throw a word in front of paper and it's like, oh yeah, it's Admiralty paper. Who hasn't heard of that? Fairly certain. Place where there are several sets of stairs. One that matters distinguished by having 39 steps, as opposed to 38 or 40. Full tide at 10:17 p.m. Leaving shore only possible at full tide. Steps, not dock steps, and so place probably not harbor. No regular night steamer at 10:17. Means of transport must be tramp, unlikely, yacht, or fishing boat. Hey, maybe they have a yacht. Who isn't rich around here? Guest. Place not harbor but open coast. Boat small. Trawler, yacht, or launch. Place somewhere on East Coast between Cromer and Dover. Sir Walter had joined us, and presently McGallifrey arrived. He had sent out instructions to watch the ports and rarely stations for the 3 men whom I had described to Sir Walter. Not that he or anybody else thought that they would do much good.
Here's the most I can make of it. We have got to find a place where there are several staircases down to the beach, one of which has 39 steps. I think it's a piece of open coast with biggish cliffs somewhere between the wash and the channel. Also, it's a place where full tide is at 10:17 tomorrow night.
Then an idea struck me.
Is there no inspector of coast guards or some fellow like that knows the east coast?
Why, yes, there is. He lives in Clapham. Let me get him now.
He went off in a car to fetch him. I lit a pipe and went over the whole thing again till my brain grew weary. Ooh, it feels nice. Nothing like a good joint pop. About 1 in the morning, the Coast Guard man arrived. He was a fine old fellow with the look of a naval officer and was desperately respectful to the company. Well, I mean, you've got a pretty distinguished group of people here. There's even a sir.
Good evening, gentlemen.
We want you to tell us the places you know on the East Coast where there are cliffs and where several sets of steps run down to the beach.
What kind of steps do you mean, sir? There are plenty of places with roads cut down through the cliffs, and most roads have a step or two in them. Or do you mean regular staircases, all steps, so to speak?
Man, how incredibly respectful. He said, "Hello, gentlemen." I mean, that's not particularly noteworthy. Whitaker looked towards me.
We mean regular staircases.
Thank you, Nate, for clearing that matter up. He reflected for a minute or two.
I don't know that I can think of any. Wait a second. There's a place in Norfolk, Brattlesham, beside a golf course, where there are a couple of staircases to let the gentleman get a lost ball.
That's not it.
Then there are plenty of marine parades, if that's what you mean. Every seaside resort has them.
I shook my head. I don't like golf.
It's got to be more retired than that.
Well, gentlemen, I can't think of anywhere else. Of course, there's the Rough.
What's that?
The big chalk headland in Kent, close to Bradgate. It's got a lot of villas on the top, and some of the houses have staircases down to a private beach. It's a very high-toned sort of place, and the residents there like to keep by themselves.
Aha!
We're on the scent at last. How can I find out what is the tide at the Rough?
I can tell you that, sir. I once was let a house there in this very month, and I used to go out at night to the deep sea fishing. The tide's 10 minutes before Bradgate.
I closed the book and looked round at the company.
If one of those staircases has 39 steps, we have solved the mystery, gentlemen. I want the loan of your car, Sir Walter, and a map of the roads.
Of course.
If Mr. McGillivray will spare me 10 minutes, I think we can prepare something for tomorrow.
Good. I, for one, am content to leave the matter in Mr. Rene's hands.
It was ridiculous of me to take charge of the business like this, but they didn't seem to mind, and after all, I had been in the show from the start. Besides, I was used to rough jobs, and these eminent gentlemen were too clever not to see it. By 3:30 that morning, I was tearing past the moonlight hedgerows of Kent with McGillivray's best man, Scaife, on the seat beside me. What? Didn't I collect Scaife? What? That should be in my collection game! You should know better than that. But actually, by the time the game's over, I'm going to click on the cards in the ad and maybe even the bookmarks and extras just to kind of explore. But for now, then I'll leave that be. And I think the next time I come back to this game, I'm gonna knock on the next two chapters, and I'll separate the recording like I have been, but excuse me, it'll be nice to get it done in one session. But otherwise, that's gonna be all for now, folks. I'll see you later, and as always, fruit and doggy.